What superpowers do you wish you had? Do you wish you could fly through the air, up in the skies like Superman? Do you wish you could be invisible and sneak around places like the Invisible Woman? Do you wish you could read minds like Professor X and know what other people are thinking? Sadly, OKRs are not going to give you any of these magical powers, but there are five so-called superpowers that can really help your organization, can help you, can help the teams and departments that you're in. Let's dig into those and have a look. So I talked in some of my previous videos about what OKRs, why you would use them, but really want to dig down into the benefits of OKRs and drill into these five superpowers that I was talking about. You can hopefully see on the screen, they're relatively simple. Again, it's nothing like being able to fly or having superhuman strength, but you may feel, no, you won't feel like you have superhuman strength. But let's talk about each of these individually. The first is focus. So with OKRs, at each level you have, whether it's the organization, department, team, or individual, you should only have 3 to 5 OKRs for any one period. And this means that you're giving everyone that focus to say, these are the important things to you. I wrote an article recently for Reworked about OKRs versus KPIs. And KPIs, you can have a massive range. There could be all sorts of numbers and metrics you're looking at to get the feel for what's happening in an organization. With OKRs, you're looking at that targeted results of getting things solved on there. And what that also means is you then get the alignment, the second superpower there, because you bring those 3 to 5 OKRs and you connect them together in a hierarchy. And what that means is you, as an individual, can see what you should be playing against within your team, what your OKRs should be aligned against. And that team can see within the department, and that department can see into that organization. Done another video, so do look at that and the details of the alignment there. But it's got that power of alignment and knowing what part each person is playing within the organization's objectives and the key results to measure to those. Which brings us on to the third superpower, which is tracking. With tracking, you really get to see those numbers. And I cannot emphasize enough the power of being able to track items automatically through dedicated numbers. This really helps you to get forward and see those real results, not hide behind made up numbers and going, yeah, I think we're doing really well with this. Oh, well, yeah, there might be the odd problem, as actually the numbers show there's a major problem coming up. It brings that visibility of those numbers and what's truly happening, which links on to the fourth superpower of transparency. With transparency, you can see not only your objectives, but you can understand the other objectives, either within that alignment, taking up that kind of steps up to the organizational ones, but also in other areas, in other departments. And it means people you're working with, you can understand what success looks like for them. And you can make sure that what you're doing can help bring them success as well. Rather than just saying, I want to do this, why aren't they helping me? You can understand what it is that they're trying to achieve and align your goals to those. One of my favorite moments from an MVP summit, uh, this is something I can talk about, don't panic, I'm not going to go out of any NDA at this point, but there was 2 teams on the call working on a common area, and I generally cannot remember what it was, so I'm definitely not giving anything away. But they said, we have a shared OKR. They were both transparent, they both had the same goal, and that was being measured and tracked together in the same way, even though they were in 2 completely different divisions. Because they were looking to achieve the same thing, they brought those things together, and they were both being challenged to succeed within that. Which brings me on to the final superpower, which is stretch. Again, I talked about that OKRs versus KPIs. This isn't just measuring going, well, last year we did this number, so let's do this number again. This is about pushing a little bit further. What that does mean is that you may not always be successful with your OKRs. And actually, that's okay. If you are achieving every time period you're looking at, you're achieving all your OKRs, that means you're not pushing yourself far enough. You're not pushing into new boundaries. And it's this thing that helps elevate an organization to be even more successful and grow. How do we know? How do we know this is the case? Well, if you look at these numbers here, um, all these different ones like Harvard Business Review has shown that organizations using OKRs see a 6% increase in net income. MIT sees a jump in attainment of 80 to 90% for their results. Aberdeen Research is showing a higher year-over-year growth of 26%, and SHRM of a 37% increase in productivity. Now, I have made up 99% of all the statistics I've used. No, okay, it's not that number. And yes, you can make things appear as you want with statistics on there. But to see this consistent messages of organizations using OKRs and seeing the value of that shows the benefits that they can actually bring. There's a fantastic book of Measure What Matters by John Doerr. And in there, he talks about real life case studies, including Google, and the value that it brought to the organization in aligning everyone together and succeeding to those results because you weren't having everyone pulling in each different direction. So, why have I been talking about superpowers today? Well, because they're a great way to think about OKRs and think about those benefits that you can bring. And you saw those numbers just now, that evidence that these things can help. And this is why they help. So keep those 5 simple superpowers, and you can help to communicate to others the benefits that these OKRs can bring. In my next videos, I'm going to start going into how Viva Goals actually brings these benefits to you.